So this was an impromptu trip. My husband and I both wanted to get out of the house and into nature, and it was like, what a perfect place to channel today, because the energy feels very powerful. So I'm not sure who I'm going to be channeling, and I was going to try to catch this beautiful bird that flew low enough that under the shelter behind me I could see it as I was setting up, but it has flown away as I went to get the camera. So I wasn't able to do that, but that's okay. What a beautiful start. Let me turn this around so you can see. We are at Hanging Rock in North Carolina. So the camera's kind of glitching a little bit. I am in one of these shelters here, getting ready to set up. Look at that cool chimney. This is a place that I used to come a lot as a kid, especially with my Uncle Mike. He loved camping, and we would come to Hanging Rock quite a bit. Go hiking, go down to the falls, swim in the Hanging Rock lake or whatever you want to call it. But without further ado, because it doesn't look like it's going to rain, but it is a little windy, so I'll go ahead and start this. Hi, it's Rebecca here to do a channeling, another Divine Master, picking a card from the Kyle Gray Divine Masters Oracle deck. I'm going to try to speak more loudly with a louder volume. Brain is not wanting to say the words right now. But I am outside, impromptu trip to Hanging Rock in North Carolina. My husband and I decided to come out for him to hike and for me to channel, because I knew I needed to channel today. Not sure what energy is coming through. We've got this quartz crystal skull. That's Aiden. Yes, I do name my skulls. This is Christopher. Totally forgot I had brought a second quartz skull. Carnelian energy, halite are coming through quite a bit. We've got the carnelian moon, heart. Well, you can't see it. Heart. I'm trying to keep the camera closer because I have a microphone, but it's not charged. And this is an impromptu trip. Also, red tiger eye. You may or may not be able to see the flash because the sun decided to hide as I was getting ready. Fire quartz, garnet. Then we have the smoky quartz right here, a black obsidian, tourmaline, black tourmaline, and a hematite heart. So a lot of heart symbolism, even hearts on my earrings, but a lot of grounding. Even the other necklace I'm wearing is my shungite and Shiva shell necklace. So like I said, a lot of that grounding and everything. And then we have the rainbow moonstone, some more halite. I was called to, for myself, bring some pneumite. And then these three stones, this quartz, I believe this is a quartz, and it's reddish tint. I don't know if there's any hematite in there. There is some mica, or if it's just the red North Carolina clay mud. But I feel like there is some hematite in there. I could be wrong, and you can let me know if I am. But I was drawn to those stones and this one that has this really awesome line going through it. And I'm not sure what that stone is right now, but I was called to it. I also have my selenite dagger with the chakra symbols on it. We'll see what that's about. Oh, merlinite. 2 pieces of that. I can't remember the other name for it. And then an energy amplifier quartz. So, as I said, lots of powerful energy coming in before I even left the house. I brought my pure love spray. That's what I was guided to. I was going to get the Florida water, but pure love was what was coming through. And of course I'm wearing red. So we're going to see, oh yes, and again with that nature, I cannot remember the name of these stones right now, but this cool little stone. So I'm not sure who is coming through, but I want to not do as long of introductions because I know what I'm doing now or the structure I want to use. And if you've watched any of the videos, you do too. So without further delay, we are going to pull a card from the Divine Masters deck by Kyle Gray and see who the Divine Master that we are meeting today is. Now let me look because I want to make sure that with the 3 I've already channeled. Oh, that's right. I put them in this box because the wind was really crazy a moment ago. I say as the birds go crazy. I have had deer walking around when I've been up here. We used to come here when I was a kid, especially with my Uncle Mike. There's a group of kids coming, so they're just going to do what they're going to do. You may hear them in the camera. All right, I'm going to move some of these around so I have some room. And we will see what Divine Master is coming out today. What Divine Master do we have coming out today? Well, that makes sense of where the big energy came from. Again, there are kids out here, so please excuse them. I have my Metatron's Cube necklace on, if you can see it. And the card that we got, the card that we got is Metatron and Sandalphon. So this is why there's been this big, powerful energy coming through. Synchronicity, divine connection, understanding lessons. So this is sacred connection. Now, I do not claim to know a whole lot about either of these energies. And like I said, it's always been something that I have wanted to learn more about all of this. So we will see what comes through and then we'll see what the guidebook says because that's how we do this particular thing. All right, I don't want them to fly away. So this is where I'm going to put the selenite dagger on the card to hold it in place. I don't know why I'm feeling called to do some Reiki symbols in my hands, but like I said, this is all intuition and going with it. Put the cards back in the box so they don't fly away. I'm feeling called to take a sip of water. Possibly just because of my allergies. But it's feeling important to take that sip before we start. It just feels really powerful, this energy. All right. I know I usually look at the card and see what I see in it. So with this card, the interesting thing that I'm noticing is that for me, it almost looks like there's not a heart around the 2 of them, but I'm seeing a heart. And a lot of the stones that I brought, as I said, have a heart. Even her face shape and hairline is a heart. And I say her, but with angels, tarot cards, whatever, there's not a he, she, gender, it just is. I'm just getting this feeling of let's begin. Like, let's begin. Don't overthink it. Don't talk about it too much. Don't focus on it too much. Let's just start because we will guide you if you are ready and open to receive. The biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is there's a bit of green right above her eyes. And because it's so dark out here, you may not see it. But it's just leading me to that heart chakra. Okay. One of my crow friends says hello. All right, the Pneumite, I'm also being called to put the... Okay, that makes sense now. So the reason that I brought both of the Magician stones, because one's supposed to be in my left hand and one is supposed to be in my right. And I I'm trying to figure out what stone is supposed to be in the other side. And it's 3. So the rainbow moonstone and also the garnet. So I've got small hands. We'll see how this does. All right. So let's get ready. And like I said, I will try to speak loud enough for the camera. And if not, I will be mindful of trying to edit the volume before I post the video. And please excuse the captions. They are auto-generated. I try to edit them, but it does not always fully take or allow me to do it very well. So there's my little disclaimer. All right. Divine Master within, the voice of my inner teacher, I call on you now, awaken and activate. I am willing to remember you, and so it is, and I can feel it as I'm finishing that. My head just feels there's a pressure, but it doesn't hurt. It's just like there's an expansion here in the frontal lobe of my head. They say don't say brain, don't rationalize it. What messages do you have? What do you want people to hear? My ears ringing, both ears. Listen to the wind as it picks up and you connect. I'm laughing because they're saying that it is not your imagination, that when you focus on it, it changes. All right, they're telling me ground a bit more. And I need to step aside just a little bit. They know I'm resistant to fully step aside. And so they're wanting for me to just lean into it a little bit more. And my husband's coming, so you may see him as I start to channel. So obviously I'm at home now. My microphone is still not charged, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. But I had gotten into the channel, was having a hard time getting into the channel and releasing control, because just as I started to channel after pulling the card, here comes one school group or group of kids, and there's another group of kids, then my husband came back, and then couples and more kids, and the park started getting state park started getting incredibly busy, and the wind was getting crazy, and the sun was not as present as I said, and so it just started getting a little over the top. And so we went ahead, we came home, we kind of regrouped, took care of the dogs, had some dinner, chilled for a little bit, and I kept my clothes on because I was like, I really feel like I need to record this message today. I realized that I was missing one of my earrings, and 111 went on the clock. So I went out to my husband's truck to see. I was like, hopefully it fell off in your truck or here at home. I didn't take the keys out, and I was like, well, hopefully it's beside of his truck, because then I don't have to go get his keys. And it was, and beside of it was a tiny little feather, probably like a robin feather. And when I went to put the feather near my feather jar, well, one of them, this feather stuck to it. And this is one of the feathers that is really special to me. I think it might be like a young hawk feather, but I came home one day from getting groceries, and the wind was blowing like crazy, like it was when we were up at Hanging Rock today. And as I'm driving into the driveway, I'm like, is that a feather? And this is like 3 or 4 years ago. And I get out, and I'm like, surely by the time I get there, the wind's going to have blown it away. And no, it was just stayed right where it was, like it was meant for me. And so we'll bring this little feather out with us for the reading. Still have the selenite blade, and I'm just setting up all the stones that had come out. And that should be in the previous recording, that I may try to, even though I don't like editing, edit down some to cut out any extras, because it was really hard to focus with everything that was going on. But I think that was part of the message, is that I needed to get out of the house, and I needed to get out of the house in nature. I do want to do some of the readings and things like that in some of the natural spots that my husband and I have driven to before. He had brought that idea up a while ago. I had talked about loving that idea. So I don't want to spend too much time, like I said, doing this, but I am trying to intentionally set this up. Now, the Divine Master or Masters card that I pulled out was Metatron and Sandalphon. I think I'm saying that correctly. Let's see, where do you want to go? And so we will continue with that. I started getting a message, and I believe it was something about, let's see, the wind had started picking up. My husband came up. I think it was something about you think you're playing when the wind changes and you're thinking about it or something like that, but you're not. So we'll see if that continues to come through. I wasn't sure if I wanted to restart the reading over completely, but the feeling that I'm getting is no. Like, this is part of the message, is letting go of that need for things to have an order, for things to be a certain way. I'm getting the call for that's kind of important. So, and I think right as I was, no, I can't think right now. All right. So to me, that means that is the message, that it's not important for me to fully remember that right now. Like I said, I don't want to take too long. So let's see if I put the card on top. So we have our 3 masters that we've already channeled. No, I must have put it back in because I felt like I don't know if I need to start over, like I said. So what I'm getting called to is do not start over. Pull that one back out because it was important. So that is what we are going to do. These cards are beautiful. Oh look, I had talked about Ganesh the other day. I had talked about how I loved this deck. That's why I bought it. I was called to it. But at the same time, that nervousness of not knowing if I was going to pronounce things correctly. And then it's like, no, just rip the Band-Aid off, Rebecca, and just do it. All right. I think, there we go. We'll find it. All right. Metatron and Sandalphon. Sacred connection, synchronicity, divine connection, and understanding lessons. So I do have light in here, whereas it had been a beautiful 5:55 on the clock sunny day when I was preparing to head up to the mountain earlier. And then by the time we got in the car, it was darker. It didn't rain, but it just was really dark, and the wind kicked up, and it was just interesting. So we will see what we get from this. I've got the guidebook, or put that right over there. I'm going to take the cards and put them up here, and leaving this here because it has been really nice to connect using Kyle's words. So I think we had in this hand definitely one of the Merlinites. Did I have a Numite in this hand? I did. All right, the Garnet I'm being called to. So I don't remember right now if these are the stones. I did not review the previous video. Was the Fire Quartz in my hand? I cannot remember, and I'm getting that that's not the point. Okay, so we're going to go with the Merlinite, and oh, I've got these in the opposite hands. This is for me. These are for you. Okay. This is for me. So these may be different, and that's okay. I'm being told again that part of this is to release the need for perfection. Okay. Divine Master within, the voice of my inner teacher, I call on you now. Awaken and activate. I am willing to remember you, and so it is. Metatron and Sandalphon, I come to you with an open heart and an open mind, asking, is there a message that you would like for me to speak? They're reminding me that I cannot stay as present as I prefer, and that they need me to step aside. You have no idea the power that you hold, not only together as one, but within you. You have been taught to play small, to suppress and ignore the divine gifts that you hold. Many will try to tell you to not speak what you know to be true. You stay small because you fear judgment. You judge yourself. Because you don't think that anything is possible unless you've seen it. You believe that you are incapable of your dreams. If you only knew how divinely guided you are, how loved you are, things that you are not told. If you only knew the power within your heart, within your mind, the light all around you. You would never fear. There are protectors among you and among us. If you call on us, we'll be there. And there are those who are placed in your path, but you miss them. If you see, you do not believe that they will help or care. Dear ones, we have been trying to help you. but you shut us out. Even when you call on us, you prevent us from doing what you ask. Your thoughts and emotions have more power than you know. So you ask, and with your words and thoughts, you say no before it even happens. We mentioned the wind and how you may think that you imagine it changes when you focus on it. But just like anything else in the world, you control more than you know. You can play around with it if you need. But the biggest piece is that you believe. However, you must not take this knowledge of your power as a desire to control others or to harm. We want you to know the freedom that already exists for you. Do you not wonder how there are so many things around you that have no explanation? The sun, it shines. The earth, it rotates. You wake up and go to sleep. Your heart connects with others. You think that is a coincidence. You want answers in books when the answers are what you see. Day to day, nothing that you feel is spectacular because it happens every day. But it is a miracle. Your existence is a miracle. You see the rainbow and you understand the science, the way the rainbow is created. And you may feel in your heart that it is a symbol of hope. That is the promise. But do you believe it? Have you learned so much and yet know so little? It is time to step out of the books, the information that you see, and explore for yourself. Look, feel, listen to everything that is around you. Pause for a moment to notice the sound, the sights, the sensations, everything in your being, every cell in your body is a miracle. Miracles are around you all the time. Your thoughts are powerful depending on where you focus them. Even now, Rebecca tries to keep herself from explaining. We need you to hear how powerful you are, because you do not believe it. And that power within each and every one of you is what is needed right now. If you do not believe that you can change things for yourself, think of how that affects others. So many people not believing in their power or the things that they say they do. You believe in miracles. You say it, but you must feel it. If you do not feel it, you cannot use your gift to create. You must focus on love, connecting with each other, with the earth, with everything around you. Pay attention. You are so focused on what you think you need to do that you miss the signs that you ask for, the very signs that you ask for. You ask for hope. You ask for peace. You ask for change, for love, but then you focus on everything that does not show you that those things exist. It is time to wake up and focus on the things that are all around you, not the things that you are shown, the things that you see and feel. You cannot control how others feel and see, hear things. But as you do the things that we ask, you will see more, and more will see it all. Rain, the sun, the stars in the sky, the blood running through your veins, they are all miracles. They are miraculous. A cell growing and creating life in any form. Miraculous. Your prayers are powerful, but in order for them to manifest what you ask, action is needed. You must focus on your desire. And they're letting me come forward just a little bit to explain what I'm sensing and feeling. My arms are really tight and tense. The impression I was getting is they may have felt like they were human word here, lecturing, is the only thing I can think of to say. And that's because of how much they want the message to get across. There's a hope and an encouragement, but at the same time, there's just this persistence in wanting for anyone to understand that in order to get what you want is all that I'm hearing and getting from that. Get what you want, whatever that is, that you must ask and then be open to receiving, paying attention and listening. Okay, I feel a push and my ears are getting pressure again. My hands are incredibly hot. So let me take a step aside again. We are here to help you if you call on us, but you alone can make that decision. We are limited in how we intercede if it is not by your choice. And though we may want for you to have the things that you want, not everything can go the way that you ask. Sometimes things are meant to happen. The why is not yours to know. It is not good, not bad. It is something that must be. You do not remember what you came here for. You do not remember that we are here. You must go beyond your belief. You must trust. Push past your mind's limits. Believe with an open heart. And divine assistance shall be yours. You may need to cut cords, ties, tethers to things, life, people, places that do not support what you know. The journey is yours alone, although you will meet people who are able to share your destiny and beliefs. Again, you must choose this. Some things are your choice. And they just stepped aside. My hands have apparently been holding these stones very hard. Let me take a moment to breathe. I feel like I've been holding my breath. Take a sip of water. 27 minutes. It feels like it was about 10. Although in all fairness, I think I talked for a while and set things up. Yeah, my hands are just incredibly tense. I guess I was holding the stones really tightly. I'm not sure. I must have been, because even my arthritis is hurting a little bit, and I've not worked with my hands a lot today. So thank you, Metatron and Sandalphon, for the message that you brought through. On the card, it says sacred connection, synchronicity, divine connection, and understanding lessons. I don't fully remember what was said because this was hard, allowed myself to step aside more than I usually do. I do like to have a little bit of control, and I got the sense, because I felt like I was being like lovingly teased and laughed at, but I don't know, that was part of the message, was giving up some control. I don't know. I'll have to watch it back. So let's go to Metatron and Sandalphon and see what it says. Oh, my voice is very raspy, and that's probably from being out in the wind in the woods earlier today. But that just felt powerful, so please excuse me. I just feel like I've been holding my breath the whole time. It's weird. All right, I do have the lighting a little low, so I'll hold this down so I can see in the light that I have. Archangels Metatron and Sandalphon are twin flame, twin brother, high vibrational angelic beings who understand what it's like to be human and angelic. Both of them once walked the earth as living humans, and because of their deep spiritual knowledge and connection to Source, at the end of their human lives, they ascended to angelic status in the heavens. Metatron's name means the throne next to God, and he is the Archangel of Ascension. Therefore, he is particularly drawn to this time when humanity has the opportunity to move beyond. And as I'm reading this, I'm feeling like I'm getting tearful. I don't remember what the message was at all, because unlike the first 3 channeled readings, I, like I said, allowed myself to take a step aside much more. But this feels important. Like there's a huge emotion behind this. So whatever the message was, like there's this, it's important. Let me get back to the guidebook. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Goodness gracious. Okay. Whew. Therefore, he is particularly drawn to this time when humanity has the opportunity to move beyond old ways of being and fear-based limitations and into a new way of living and loving. Sandalphon's name means co-brother, which refers to the fact that he is Metatron's energetic twin. He is the angel who helps us establish a heavenly connection. When the archangels come together, they establish a bridge between heaven and earth so that we can understand, and I'm getting even more tears now. I'm going to have to watch this back and see what is going on right now, but it's just a very, like, my heart is like heavy and hopeful at the same time. Just heavy and hopeful, whatever that means, whatever you heard in the message or hear in the message. If you watch it, you know, let me just read from the book. Oh my gosh. Okay. When these archangels come together, and I know I'm not holding this up because of the light, but let me hold this up for you so you can look at the card as I read this. When these archangels come together, they establish a bridge between heaven and earth so that we can understand the interconnectedness of all things. Your message. Everything is working out for your highest good. All the information and experiences that are coming to you now are bringing you a greater sense of connection and understanding. Be open and aware of the signs and synchronicities that are occurring at this time, for these are miraculous reminders that there is a force beyond your human comprehension that is helping you to be your best self and live a life filled with purpose and meaning. If you feel stuck or unsure where things are going, you are being encouraged to see your situations from a higher perspective. If things aren't going according to your plan, it doesn't mean that things aren't going according to the divine plan. A power that is greater than you, but also within you, is working to help you learn from your life experiences and understand that you are interconnected with your source and a co-creator of your destiny. 33 minutes exactly when I said that. So I hope that was helpful. I know I usually have more to say, but thank you, Archangel Metatron and Sandalphon, for helping me to trust and step aside a little bit more. I'm feeling called to remind you with the garnet, the hematite, to have an open heart, to ground, and then with these, the carnelian, the fire quartz, the carnelian heart, and the red tiger eye, to remember that with that grounding, to also have passion, compassion, to bring joy and energy into your life. I'm hearing fiery spirit. So to like 3355, when I said that, to have like this, like I'm getting an excitement now, to be playful, to find joy, to not just be in the mundane, that there are all these wonderful things around you, and to get out of that narrow, I'm seeing like a horse with blinders, to get out of that blind focus where you're not creating time to do the things that you want to do. They're bringing me to the rainbow moonstone, like the stone that's just white and black, but it has the little hidden rainbows in it. I don't know if I can get this to shine on camera, but if you know what rainbow moonstone is, then you know. I'm being drawn to my selenite dagger with the chakra symbols on it, and I'm hearing cut cords, cut cords. If there are things, and they're showing me not just people, but situations, old habits, things like that, that they don't serve you. Like, cut those cords, just cut them, cut the cord. Like, I'm hearing, don't worry, just cut the cord. And grounding, as I had said at one point, grounding is a big thing. So being grounded, and mindful, but also getting into your passions. And I'm feeling called back to the hawk feather, and what I did remember from being in the mountain earlier today, well, not in the mountain, but being up at Hanging Rock, part of the mountains, is right before I started to record, there was a bird, and I don't even know what kind of bird it was. I was like, oh, is that a hawk? I wasn't sure. I didn't see it. Like, I only saw it come into my eye line, but that shelter is pretty low to the ground. And so I told you the story, I think, at the beginning of this about the feather, and how it was a day where the wind was blowing, and I pulled in the driveway, and I just happened to see this feather in front of me through my car windshield, however many feet away from me. And I was like, is that a feather? And sure enough, it was. And hawks are one of my things, one of my signs. It was one of the things that brought my husband and I together, which is awesome. And I know that's sharing a little personal stuff, but it felt right to say that. And so before I met him, and then when I met him and after, hawks were something that we saw all the time. Hawks and 1111. That was like our thing, and still is. So I don't know, maybe that was important to tell you. I'm not sure. Either way, oh, the hawk feather wants to stay with me. We'll put it here beside of our divine masters. Either way, thank you so much. If you have watched these, enjoy them. I did put up a video because I had noticed when I rewatched the Lemurian video that there was that part at the end, because I had forgotten about it after I recorded, and then as I was listening back to it, I'm like, why did I say woo? And then I I've been watching them. Last night I watched through all of the first 3, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that my hands were doing that, or that I was moving that way, or whatever it was. And so this has been kind of an interesting experience and joy for me as well. And so thank you for taking this ride with me if you watch these. And I'm curious to see what the message was. I am so curious to see what the message was, and see if it lined up as much as the other ones did with what was in the guidebook. But yeah, enough of that for me. Oh, I didn't even realize I'm wearing my moonstone, rainbow moonstone ring. I didn't even realize that. That is hilarious. Okay, that's okay. So anyway, thank you again. Take care. And if you're enjoying this series, let me know. I'm still going to continue to go through. We still have a lot of cards. And I will go for as long as it feels right. I am all about doing things intuitively, trusting yourself, and knowing that intention is everything. And my intention for this is just to put things out there and to encourage other people to trust themselves and to consider what it is that they think and believe, and that there are things that may be possible outside of what we even know. All right. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you next time, or if you watch any of the other things that I do.